Dredge is a game. No, that's not right. Dredge is an experience. I have a long list of games on my Steam library in a category called Games to Beat Before Next Purchase. I do this to actually play the games that I get in a bundle or during the summer sale, not just to have 1,000 games that I never play. Dredge was an exception to this rule, and it's proof that we don't always have to stick to the rigid rules we set for ourselves. Dredge was on my wish list for about a month before I caved and bought it. It was fairly inexpensive, and the trailer caught my eye. The second reason I bought it was that the games I've enjoyed playing, I've turned into content. So I've sort of soft-locked fun for myself. See, if I want to play a game, I'll have to record, and recording takes energy. Usually, I'll be coming off of a 10-hour shift, and I don't have it in me to put on a super big happy inflection and make a video screwing around in Minecraft, let alone editing that video later on. So, I brought Dredge for me, to experience myself without the pressure of content creation. That's why I decided to make this video. You start the game by crashing your ship on the island of Morrow, rescued by the Lightkeeper. The next morning, your boat is completely destroyed, and they give you a new one. That boat costs money that you don't have, so you have to work off your debt to repay them for your small fishing boat. And this is where the game begins. The boat in this game serves not only as your tool to use to fish and move around the large map, but also as your inventory. If you like the Resident Evil 4 inventory, then this is a game all about that. With tiles on your boat, you catch a wide variety of fish that all take up different patterns and shapes, some simple, but others more large and complex, making every trip not only a management of time, but inventory space. There's a special feeling you get when rearranging your entire boat just to fit that one fish, and then you bring it back into harbor for this great profit. It's genuinely fun to go out and catch the fish, and having to put them in the most space-efficient way and Tetris them in is a very fun and exciting experience. I will say that I don't think I can make this video without talking about one of the more unique mechanics in the game, that is the passage of time. I think my closest comparison I have to it would be Super Hot and its movement of time. For the most part, time is standing still, only moving forward when you are moving or fishing, all leading to the night when the fog rolls in. From early on in Dredge, it warns you about the night and the mysteries surrounding the fog that rolled in a few years ago that shrouds the entire area at night. There's mention of an old coffin that was dredged up years ago, but that's all I'll say. If you want the full story, you're just gonna have to play the game yourself. Now, I know I said that time didn't move unless you did. Well, that's not entirely true. I'm sorry, I lied. The night is filled with these otherworldly creatures, from huge crustaceans to angler leviathans disguised as boats. These beasts are not bound to the time mechanic, making them increasingly difficult to maneuver around, as standing still will not do anything but allow them to take a chunk out of your boat. The other thing you have to worry about at night is fear. The longer you stay out at night, near the deep waters, the more fearful you'll get. Seeing monsters and getting close to them will also make you start hallucinating, only the issue is they aren't really hallucinations. Once you make it to morning by resting at any dock in the map, the day begins again and your fear resets. A big part of Dredge is obviously fishing. It's the main way to make money and get upgrades for your boat, making movements faster, unlocking new types of fish to catch, and making your inventory just bigger. Fishing itself is limited to a minigame. I've encountered 3 while playing, and they all are relatively fun minigames, all based around this quick time event. The thing is, the quick time event isn't actually mandatory. If you do nothing, you'll just reel in the fish, but the only problem is that time moves when you're fishing. So if you want to make it back before night, you'll have to catch the fish as fast as possible. There are a lot of fish types in the game, all with their own unique shapes and price, but along with these are the aberrations. These fish are special variants that usually sell for more, but just the design of these fish is what makes them feel cool. I'll touch upon it a tiny bit too, but there is a trophy fish mechanic that's just a special, more precise QuickTime event. Other than the money, it's not super exciting or noticeable to catch these. Now that we have a lot of the base mechanics out of the way, let's talk more about the world. The map is fairly large and has 5 main areas with little islands scattered out between them, and the only thing preventing you from going to all of these right out of the gate is your boat speed. The game does a great job at limiting areas and making progression feel natural by putting it in the player's hands. If you want to go somewhere, then you buy a better engine, or research a better one, or buy an engine upgrade for your ship to hold more engines, and then you find the best combo of different engines to go the fastest in your given space. Managing not only your inventory for fish, but also what is installed on your ship. And it's really rewarding as you min-max space versus speed versus fishing power all together in tangent. And some items can be really good, but usually they're large and clunky, making you have to choose between specialization and the more smaller items for generalization. The 4 areas on the map that aren't the starting lighthouse are so unique and fun too. The small town in the cliffs that's suffering from the fog and used to be an old whaling town. There's an abandoned resort guarded by this leviathan beast. The swamps filled with moving branches and mind-altering monsters. And finally the volcanic ruins of a once lost great civilization. All of these areas are so distinct with their own mechanics to work around, and they really make you work for the progression in this game. Finally, let's cover the story and the NPCs in this game. The cast of characters you meet in the game are each as interesting as they are their own individual characters, and a few you get to know a lot about, but it seems like there's something off about most of them. There's this secret that everyone is privy to but you, and that's one of the big driving forces in this game. What could be so secretive that everyone knows about it but they won't let you in on the secret? Other than that, the story itself is basically a bunch of fetch quests, but with a game about fishing, what did you expect? The quests want you to fish, or dredge, or sometimes deliver things. All of this, though, is fun and justified as you get to explore a new area, and each major quest item gives you a new dark magic ability to unlock for your boat. It's a very rewarding experience, and it pushes you to keep playing. I beat the game within the first week of owning it because I couldn't pull myself away from it. I had to get that upgrade, catch that next fish, or finish that quest. And there was only one time I ever needed to Google something, and it was my own fault for not using nets as a mechanic. Nets are important. Get a net. With all that being said, I really do enjoy this game. It's a good balance between relaxing and tense where you control when those moments happen. The art style and atmosphere is right out of an H.P. Lovecraft book, and the sound design is next level. This really should be looked at as the standard for gaming content. There's no fluff to the game. Sure, there are some things that require certain fish, but when you already are catching all of those fish, it shouldn't be an issue. I will say, the one gripe I have with this game is that there's no notepad feature built in. I feel like a game that relies so heavily on memorization of what fish you need for what quests should have some way to keep track of them. There is a quest log, but some of them don't tell you the specific fish, and I feel like I just need a place to write that down, but I did it on my phone, so it's not that much of an issue. All in all, I'd give Dredge a 10 out of 10. Sure, it's not the best game I've ever played in my entire life, but for what it wants to be and what it's trying to accomplish, it nails it on almost every aspect. It's not too long, there's no extra fluff to keep you playing, except if you want to catch every fish and every fish variant, but that stuff is just icing on top of the cake for people who already love the game and want to do that. There's no incentive to go and do that. It's not like it's telling you to collect 1,000 feathers in a game about assassinating people, and I'm still not over that lazy quest, Ubisoft, and if any of you are watching this, shame on you for making that quest. So if you haven't already, go play Dredge and support developers like these who care about their audience and want to make an actually good and entertaining game. Hey guys, thank you all for sticking around to the end of the video. We're gonna be trying some new stuff on this channel, and this is one of them. So I hoped you liked it, because these essays, reviews, whatever you want to call them, will be happening a lot more. And that's not to say the other content will go away either. I just want to shift to a more modern approach. I'm currently working on this other video called The Algorithm Killed the Let's Play Star, about why the format I was kind of using wasn't as viable for YouTube in the modern age. So stay tuned to that, and if you want to see more of this kind of content and support the channel, please consider actually hitting the like button and actually hitting the subscribe button. And with that being said, I hope you have an actually good day, and I'll see you on the next one.